I am happy to make it official that I am the voice of Vincent Valentine.
What?
I'll just have to fight you for it in the game.
Try me.
Bring it on, old man. I gave myself 6 months to succeed. And the day after I arrived to LA was the day I received the audition for Yuffie from Final Fantasy.
No, when Suzie sent me the screenshot, my reaction was, ah!
What is up, New York Comic Con? I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me. I love you guys too. You're amazing. My name is Matt Mercer. I mentioned I'm a voice actor. Happy to host this panel. A little known fact, some of you may or may not know, I did some background voices actually in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was a huge honor. A number of characters, including one that was named in the script, I think Vigo, is like a wall market thug saying phrases in the background. Actually, while I'm on that topic, let me also address some of these rumors on social media that I've seen out there. Some people have been making certain preconceived notions. I guess I'll go ahead and clear the air here. I am in the cast of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I will not be returning as Vigo, the wall market thug. I am happy to make it official that I am the voice of Vincent Valentine.
What? What?
Let's go! It was Vincent's birthday yesterday.
I know!
Happy birthday, Vincent!
Happy birthday, you vampire.
Happy birthday to me. I had the opportunity when I found this out to reach out to my dear friend Steve Bloom, who had played him in previous games and projects, to both ask for his blessing and tell him how excited I was to bring that energy into this. And he was super excited and said, there's nobody else I would rather have do it. And so this is a shout out to you, Steve, carrying that love into this project. And thank you all so much for being so welcoming, for making this little nerd boy's dream come true. Thank you. I think this is a very important question. I think it's really on everyone's mind. How do y'all feel about Red XIII riding on a chocobo? Like, this is... I'm gonna go to Max for this one first. Max, how, like please, emotionally, psychologically.
No, when Suzie sent me the screenshot, my reaction was, ah! I had no idea that they were gonna have Red riding a chocobo, and it's everything. I think the fans have been waiting 26 years for this moment right here. And this is probably the crowning achievement of my entire career, so, yeah.
How did you prepare for your roles in Rebirth?
A lot of research, a lot of research. I had been familiar with Final Fantasy before. My brother was a super fan, so when I was able to break the news to him and share what was going on, he was bouncing through the walls, which is a very special moment. But he was the one that pointed me in the right direction and kind of really shared with me the importance of this game and the connection that the fan base has with it and the characters and how everything is so well thought out and honestly beautifully written. So I just dug deep, man, and I got sucked in and got very addicted, and it was a combination of both, I would say, passion and excitement, and also, you know, fear. There's a lot of expectation, and there was a lot of pressure riding on this game, and more so, I think, me putting it on myself simply because I know what this means. I understand the significance to the fan base that has grown up around it.
So I always wanted a PlayStation growing up, and my parents refused to get me a PlayStation, and look where I am now. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VIII, and it absolutely transported me when I was a kid, but because I didn't have a PlayStation, I was never able to play 7. And so one of my favorite things about 8 is the music. Music has always been my favorite part of any game or film. And when I was in middle school, here's a fun fact. When I was in middle school, we'd have like Walkman Day. For those of you who don't know what a Walkman is, it was a CD player, and you could bring it on like a Friday and play your music in recess. And I would bring my Final Fantasy disc and play my Final Fantasy VIII music.
My first introduction to Final Fantasy and games in general was Final Fantasy X, which is my favorite game of all time. Yeah, and I played it so much that my mom would see me playing on my PlayStation for hours and hours a day. And so any other game I would play, regardless if it was Final Fantasy or not, she'd be like, is that Final Fantasy? Are you playing Final Fantasy? I'd be playing Kingdom Hearts, and she's like, is that Final Fantasy?
So when the audition came through for Vincent, it was like all of my energy went into this. I needed to do this. I think I asked for an internet spirit bomb on socials for it even. Like it was so important to me. And usually when you audition for things, you hear back often within a month or 3. This I didn't hear back for 9 months. And I just considered it the one that got away. Like every now and then I'd be driving and be like, it was so close. But some of the people in the production knew how much this meant to me, and they got me in to do some more background voices on Rebirth. I was like, hey, well, at least I get to be a part of this one too. Come into the session, they're like, we're gonna go ahead and put up a little camera. They just get sort of facial motion capture reference. I'm like, okay, and they had me read some lines. It was like Nibelheim Boy 3, and it's like, all right, so here's the Japanese ref. He's very young, and it was like 12 years old. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, just give it a shot. It's awful. I'm like super nervous, sweating in the booth. Like, why did they bring me in to embarrass me? And then suddenly the screen starts glitching out, and there are pop-ups happening all across the script. And like, what is going on? Like, sorry, we're having a tech issue. And the screen goes to black, and then the little text bubble comes up that says, or how about you play a different character? And then Vincent's HUD comes
awesome.
in.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
They pranked me
That's awesome.
to reveal it.
So I was a pre-med student for 4 years, and then I switched to theater, and I was about to drop out of college. I called my parents. They were like, just change your major, stupid. And so I did, and I got my theater degree around the same time I got a voiceover agent. It happened to be the same agent as, well, I'll say this. For about 2 weeks, I went into the agency, and I was extremely nervous. I felt very out of place, like I shouldn't be there. And nobody said hi to me in 2 weeks. And there were like, I don't know, 50, 100 people who went through that office. Until one day, this gentleman sitting on the couch next to me said, hey, you're new here. I'm Matt. What's your name? And that's this guy right here. He was the first person in the industry to welcome me. And I've never forgotten that. And I don't know if I've ever told him, but it meant so, so much to me.
Well, I never really had any acting background or any background in the entertainment industry. I was like, you know what? I could either go back to a 9-to-5 job and feel kind of the same, or try out this voice acting thing that was really fun. It was a really fun experience for me. I was debating really hard back and forth, like, should I do this? Should I keep going? And I was really, really scared about the consequences, but I gave myself 6 months to succeed, to just do anything and maybe pick up from there. And the day after I arrived to LA was the day I received the audition for Yuffie from Final Fantasy.
So I booked my first job in college. My professors got all upset. I'm not gonna mention their names. But I booked this job, and I had to play off of a fake cartoon. So they would put up a cardboard thing on the desk, and I was supposed to be the artist that created him. Did that job, and was like, this is awesome. I'm okay, this is fun. And then I wound up coming out here, and we got a thing, and I'm like, this is great. So it's fun, and it's been like that ever since '97. This is one of the most humblest dudes in the world. But you gotta understand his work ethic. If you don't have a work ethic, you can have a drive. You can have as much drive as you want, but drive will sometimes make you do things that you don't want to compromise who you are in being, okay? But if you have a work ethic and a drive and a creative flow and a desire to do this and a deadline, I'm going to give myself this much time to do it. If you got a plan, go for it. I encourage you to go for it. There's so many different ways to do this. Voice 1, 2, 3. Hey, can I sit in the studio and watch? How does he sound when he does this? How does he sound when he does this? Go for it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. Pursue it. I'm not saying quit your day jobs. Because beginning is like, man, I got $2. But go for it and do it on the side and have fun doing it.
What is it that you like the most about Tifa Lockhart as a character?
I mean, Tifa's truly incredible. I think that she's so dynamic, and I think my favorite part about her is her moral compass. No offense, Barret, but I think that Tifa she's gone through so much trauma, and she is motivated by revenge and anger, which I think we all can identify with, but she still, despite that, is always the one to kind of step back and think first and question her morals and ethics in terms of what they're doing. And I love that about her, and I think that she puts her friends first. She's so caring. I think a therapist would tell her she needs to create some boundaries, and but I do love that about her, and I think voicing her is it's really the role of a lifetime, because I get to play these really intimate, emotional moments with Cloud, but then she's doing these like crazy, badass, heightened, high stakes screaming and fighting, and it's really the role of a lifetime. So I'm really so grateful.
I love that. And I think it's time for us to get to our mystery event here for the panel. Fun little surprise. I hope you're all excited about it. All the way from Japan, we have a very special guest. Will you please bring to the stage Naoki Hamaguchi, the director of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah!
Joined by his translator, Hinano.
Thank you.
If you, the director of this project, had to choose between recruiting Yuffie or Vincent, which would you pick?
今回ディレクターとしてヴィンセントかユフィどちらかを仲間にできるとしたらどちらを選びますか？
いや、スージーのユフィもヴィンセントのマットも両方とも大好きだし、やっぱ2人いるのにちょっと選ばせるのはちょっと若干残酷じゃないですか。私2人に関わらず全キャラクター皆さんも含めても大好きです。I love you です。
I mean, with Suzie as Yuffie right here and you, Matt, as Vincent right here, I really cannot answer this question. I really love all of the characters that are involved in FF7, along with those two. So that's my answer.
How very politically even.
I'll just have to fight you for it in the game.
Try me.
Bring it on, old man.
Look, everyone needs a good nap every now and then. There are many wonderful reveals in the recent trailer. I like to think that Vincent was one of them. But the real star of that trailer would have to be the segway. What was the impetus, the inspiration for this particular vehicle choice alongside things like the tiny Bronco and the Highwind? Why is the segway so important?
特に気になっているトレーラーの中の真のスターであるセグウェイのような乗り物についてですが、これについて少し教えてください。
このゲームはさっきにもチョコボ出ましたけど、結構ワールドマップの探索にはチョコボを使うんですよ。なのでせっかくリゾート地に行ったのになんかその中でチョコボに乗りたくないじゃないですか。なので何かリゾートっぽい開放感のあるような乗り物がないかなっていう時にまさにセグウェイのような我々ウィリーって呼んでるんですけど、っていう乗り物にたどり着いたっていうやっぱりこのゲームってやっぱりシリアスとコミカルが混ざっているのが非常に好まれるので、まさにクラウドがウィリーに乗っているものは非常に皆さんに注目されて非常に嬉しかったです。
Yes. So, in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you may be spending a lot of time adventuring through the world map on a Chocobo, but thinking about Costa del Sol, which is a resort town, it may be a little odd or, cumbersome to be on the Chocobo, and I really want people to have, fun navigating around this place. So I was like, what's a new and exciting way to get around this place? And I thought, this two-wheeled Segway-like vehicle had come to mind. And of course, throughout the Final Fantasy series, we just have, this theme of sort of having a serious undertone with these very comical elements interspersed throughout. And, this sight of Cloud riding it is just really funny. And I'm happy that this vehicle is getting noticed.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.